A little bit more here on the Braves. Let's welcome in Kevin McAlpin, who is a Braves radio reporter and also an MLB Network correspondent. And Kev, thanks for joining us here. So let's just get right to it here. How is this going to affect the Braves moving forward with the punishments over the international assigning scandal, so to speak?
Well, obviously, 13 players lost yesterday is a big-time blow to the farm system, and none bigger than losing Kevin McAlpin, who a lot of folks who I had talked to said that Kevin McAlpin was the best prospect to come out of Venezuela since Miguel Cabrera. So that is certainly a big-time loss. He was ranked anywhere from 4th to 6th overall in the best prospects in the Braves system. So you're losing a guy who could be a really special player down the line. Now, he's still only 17 years old. There's a lot of room for him to grow and get better as a player. But again, anytime you lose 13 prospects, it's a big-time blow to your farm system. You also have lost a third-round pick in the draft next year, and that is a big-time loss as well. So, when you talk about the immediate impacts, not a whole lot when you're talking about the prospects that are still maybe 3, 4, 5 years away from being big league ready. But again, anytime you're comparing a guy with Miguel Cabrera, you can tell that this guy has a chance to be a special player in a few years.
Yeah, it sounds like there may be a hole for the Braves, about 4 or 5 years out when that wave of young talent was supposed to come in. It won't be there. But so this has all happened, right? This is kind of a very unique situation in the game of baseball. Where did the Braves go from here?
Well, I think first and foremost, you turn to Alex Anthopoulos to basically be the guy that mends a lot of relationships that may have been tarnished the last couple of years. You talk about, teams that may not have been as interested in dealing with the Braves here the last couple of seasons. I think Alex is going to be a great, part of the organization in trying to build those relationships back up. It's something that Terry McGurk mentioned in the introductory press conference for Alex last week. He said, the Braves are embarrassed about what has happened, and they're committed to turning this around and doing so in a hurry. And again, I think they're going to look at Alex as being a guy they're going to rely very heavily on in the next couple of months and couple of years to establish that trust and to bring the Braves back to where they were for so many decades.
What kind of message do you think, Kev, this sends to the other 29 teams?
Well, I think Major League Baseball is not messing around. I think if you're any of the other 29 teams and you think there could be anything you might be doing that's not 100% legit on the international market, it's shown that if you break the rules, Major League Baseball is not afraid to hand out a lifetime ban. It's what we saw from former general manager John Coppolella, who got that punishment. He is banned for life from Major League Baseball now. So I think if you're any of the other 29 teams, you're going to really take a good hard look at what you're doing on that international market and make sure everything is 100% legit, because we saw MLB is not messing around with this anymore.
Kevin, you mentioned kind of restoring some of the relationships around the game of baseball, including trades and things like that. But what about on the international scene, the reputation that the Braves now have when they're trying to sign that young 16-year-old Dominican or Venezuelan guy? How has this impacted the Braves' reputation on the international market?
Well, I think it's just the reputation as a whole. I really think, you talk about everything from internationally to what happened with the draft last year here in the United States and the punishment that they got losing that 2018 third-round pick. There's a lot of things they need to do. There's a lot of, fences that need to be mended. But, when you talk about having the restrictions and how much money you can spend internationally, starting in 2019, 2020, you're going to be down to $10,000 a player. I mean, that's going to be really difficult for them to sign guys internationally for the next 4 or 5 years. So there's a lot of different moving parts to this. And I think from an international standpoint, the fact that you've moved on from the previous regime, I guess, like I said, John Coppolella is gone. Gordon Blakely is gone. John Hart has even moved on to pursue other opportunities. You're seeing now a new wave, and you're going to see new personnel in those roles. So I think that may help, kind of put the past behind him a little quicker.
All right, before we let you go here, give me a running count on the bobbleheads.
It's somewhere between 350 and 400, and you can only see a small sample behind me. There's like 3 other shelves in my basement here, and I think if I bring any more home from the road, my wife's going to throw me out, or maybe just throw out all the bobbleheads. We'll see what happens.
You better start itemizing them just for insurance, just in case. You never know.
I already have. There's certainly a running tally already, guys.
Kev, thanks for joining us, man. Enjoy Thanksgiving.
Thanks, guys. Happy Thanksgiving to you.